Lord, we're thankful today for health and strength. We're thankful for your goodness. God, and we ask you today, Lord, to look down on this court and bless us with wisdom, purify our hearts to do the right thing, and to always put you first. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen. Amen. All right. Call the meeting to order. We do have a quorum. I'd like to acknowledge all the guests that are here today. We'll open up for a public hearing. We have some ladies set up to speak.
Okay, I just want to hit on five topics that are directly affecting a lot of residents. I'm really not sure about the Baltimore residents, and I'm not sure how those residents are feeling. But in the 2017 buyout, we're there. Our appraisals are very inconsistent with people in the same buyout as well as previous buyouts. They're not being based completely on square footage, styles of home, amenities, age of homes, and they're just not, they don't add up. Appraisals are lower than the comparisons of same age homes, when these homes had 250,000 6 months prior. We can show every form of insurance we have where it's going to put back in the home. But we're being put in comparisons with 20-year-old homes that don't have a $250,000 remodel 6 months prior. This work's been put into the homes, and we did it according to FEMA. FEMA said, you got to put it back in. We put it all back in, thinking we're protecting ourselves. We're doing what the government told us. We're not supposed to pocket money. We need to put everything in the homes, and we did just that. There are homes with over 150 yards of concrete driveways, but their comparisons, they don't have any concrete, they have no driveways, and they're getting nothing. Residents are getting nothing. In this particular buyout, according to the appraisals for those things, where some have received price. We've worked there's just a big inconsistency. The word inconsistency continues to come up. We waited for years for this buyout, but all of a sudden, I came in June to the commissioners meeting. I came in June, and now there's a rush for deadline, which feels very arbitrary, considering we were signed up, met the original deadline of signing up, and then opened up, and we went through this, and we met that, and now we've gone through COVID, and we've gone through these things when we did everything as a resident that we could do, other than sit up here every day, and we are all working people that need to get our jobs. Appraisals were done by the majority of the residents that we've met with in less than 15 minutes in our homes for our appraisals. When I looked at my appraisal was one from 2016. I had Christmas stuff around my door. There's Christmas garland around my door, but my house was just appraised this summer, and it's prior pictures from years past. Residents pointed out items in their appraisals when it was taking place about certain features that we had paid tens of thousands of dollars for due to the FEMA money needing to be used that way, such as very expensive, the top of the line appliances, quartzite countertops. We said we have all the documentation we can show you, and literally we were looked at and kind of almost blew off with this. In a real appraisal, those things are super important when you put them in home. And again, I'm sure FEMA would like to know that I put those $250,000 back in the home, and they can see it any minute they walk in. Residents pointed all of these out, like I said, very uninterested and was not considered, and it's not showed anywhere in our appraisals. Year of ages didn't really matter. Didn't really matter if you live a lot, from what we can tell, basing on square footage to acreage. Doesn't really matter if I lived in a thatched house or if I lived in a brick house. It's almost like it's about square footage, it's about acreage, and that's not how an appraisal's done. One resident had 2 other appraisers already just look at it and say, this isn't good. We continue to be told the information that's incorrect, as in the June meeting. After the meeting concluded, I spoke with, I was standing with Mr. Powell, another resident, and someone that was in charge of some things dealing with FEMA, dealing with the buyout, and I asked and wanted to make sure I was clear in understanding that once the county did appraisals, we would pay for a second appraisal. If that appraisal was 15% more than the appraisal offered by the county, there wouldn't be a lot of questions. It would pretty much be looked at, and taken. But if it was above that, a third appraisal would have to be done, and we understood that. And we were told on that particular day that we would pay and we would find a third appraiser as well. But now we found that's different. So once again, change, inconsistency, it's just a constant, no, that's not, oh, it's this. It's almost like it changes, it changes as it goes. And all we want is the same, I want the same treatment for every resident in the county. I don't care if you live in Monterey or you live in Louisville. People are giving up their lives. They're giving up their homes they built. And I don't care if they live in a factory house or whatever. It means something to them and they want what they have in their homes. They want what they put into their homes. They want every blood, sweat, and tear they work to put into these homes. And that's all we want is the fair appraisals for that $250,000. One resident got $257,000. Got a check from FEMA and put $250,000 in her house. So they're saying the roof and the outer structures and the walls, they don't count, and the concrete driveway, the pool, they don't mean nothing. You didn't get anything for them. You only got what you got from FEMA, $250. You didn't get anything for those other things based on this appraisal. The constituents of Newton County do not care who's to blame. We can sit here and point fingers, and I'm not gonna sit here and do this. You gentlemen that I know work for the government. There's other people that work for the government. We know how the government treats you. They don't pay you real well. A lot of times you have deadlines and things. But we don't care who's to blame. We don't care if it's prior this, prior buyout, prior this. It's just we want to make sure this is done right for all the people. All the people. Whether you live in Bonware or you live in Louisville. Every time it rains, we sit there with PTSD. What's going to happen? How are we getting out? How are we getting out of here? We want to go, but they're not making it. These appraisals aren't making it where we can get out of there, where we can move. We fought and we want to stay in Newton County. We want our money to stay in this county. It's been a good county. But we want to stay in this county and we don't want to have to leave. But they're not making it where we can't even leave. And we got to the point that I guess we sit here and we do this and we're old in age. We get votes and we ride out because they're not making it. They're not giving us the appraisals, the fair appraisals that we should be able to get. Again, we don't care who's to blame. We don't point fingers at people. Prior judges, prior commissioners, prior this. I don't care about any of those things. I just want it right for the people. The rest is irrelevant. It should be for all the people. And all of you guys work for all of us. Mr. Powell may be our commissioner, but all of you guys make so many important decisions for this county and moving us forward and making it better. I know one resident was told, you shouldn't have made too much money. As a teacher in this county, I tell every kid every year in my class, I want you to do way better than me. I want you to be 5 times me, 5 times my husband. I tell my kids that we should always want better for the next generation. But when you tell people things like, you make too much money, we busted it. There's things I've missed through the years with my kids because I was at work. My husband was at work, so we could have things. So we did want those things. That was our decision. So when you're telling me you made too much money, or you know what, you shouldn't have overbuilt. You shouldn't have overbuilt where you're overbuilt. Really? For one, I wasn't in a flood zone when I built. Didn't have to have flood insurance. Did not require any flood insurance. And now we're in this position. I built on family land like many people in Newton County do. They go back to their home states and they want to save their family. They want to be your family. And being your family has hurt us. Trying to stay in your family has hurt us because now everything we worked for our whole life, we're not getting fair value with our appraisals. And all we want is to be reconsidered and possibly another appraisal by the county. And thank you. Oh, I appreciate it. I'm so sorry. I thought you were telling me I'm done. Stop. I was going to take her. So on the flag, quit. Again, I'm not going to sit bash anyone where they are, or how they chose to live their life, or what they chose to live in, but it's important to them. I don't care if you live in a mobile home, or if you live in a wood structure, a brick structure, whatever. It's important to that family. And one thing we have found out is there's people that live in homes that they haven't redone since they've lived. and a loan, like, I didn't pay but $40 for my house, and I was expecting 80. They threw me 110, we are thrilled, and the rest of us that put everything into our house, because we did have flood insurance, we can't get anything. So those us that carried insurance and did the right thing through FEMA, we were told carry insurance, don't take money from the government, carry your own insurance. American insurance, when you get insurance, it's the one thing you pray and you pay for and you hope you never use. We had to use it twice. And both times, they've come in and wrote us a $250,000 check, and we put $250,000 in our home. And we can't get that, we can show, I have people from Orange County coming in and saying, oh no, in our behalf, you'd have been this, or you'd have been this is crazy. Can I come in and please have these lights? Can I please have this? Because they knew, we told them we had to put the money back in. But, like I said, all we want is a fair appraisal. That's all we're asking for, is a fair appraisal where those amenities are considered. They're written into those appraisals. I noticed on one of my appraisal comparisons, I'm a half acre off one of my comparisons, they took off $20,000 for, it's like 0.4 acres difference. And on that acreage, they took off $20,000 on that part, just on my appraisal, for 0.4 acres. Well, for one, there's no acreage, there's not a lot of acreage going for, in our county, and I know our area, for that amount. Maybe in a subdivision, you might get a certain, landscape perfect lot, but it's just, they don't go for that. So we just want a chance to have the appraisals reviewed and looked at and considered, and these amenities considered, because like I said, we put our blood, sweat, and tears in these, and I feel like everybody from North Newton County to South Newton County deserves to get out of these calls on PTSD stress. Stay in the county, put the money back in the county, build something else. Come on, but we can't do it right now. That's all we want. We want to stay here. Stay here where we bought land. When we flooded the first time, bought some land, started paying on it, being prepared for it if it ever happened again. But like I said, we need this to happen so we can move and build in the county. Thank y'all, we appreciate all your time.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. All right, do we have anybody else?
That will be me, and that's gonna be hard to follow. That's my sister, she took a picture. Now I'm all emotional, so I really wasn't prepared for that. Thank y'all for allowing me to speak first and foremost. To speak as to the inconsistencies that seems to be the ongoing thing through this whole buyout process, which is so disturbing for us. I'm one that I met the deadline for the 2017 buyout, made sure everything was timely. I worked with the Postal Service, by God, I made sure I overnighted that, it was signed for, did everything by the book to make sure that I was on time with everything. Only to find out that they would open it up and then we would be moved to the last people on the list and be knocked out. Thank God we were able to talk. My sister came in June and spoke with Commissioner Powell, which I'm thankful he's been willing to answer questions, et cetera, along the way. But we were told we would be put back in. Only Friday of last week to find out that, yeah, you're put back in, but we're gonna put you in the 2016 buyout, which had not applied for, the 2016. So that just seems very alarming. That's a red flag. Anytime somebody puts you where you haven't even applied, that just seemed a little concerning to me. Only to find out that my appraisal was gonna be put for a 2016 value and not a 2017 value. I just don't understand why we're so inconsistent and how things keep changing one way to another way. I happen to be the one that she's talking about because when I was on the phone with the lady last week, she was very inappropriate with me while I was at work, and she said, well, it's not my fault that y'all make too much money. I'm a postal worker, guys. I am not killing the bank, I promise you that. I work 7 days a week, and I've done it for 30 years. I'm exhausted because of it, and I'm here today losing a day of pay just to be here, using a day of vacation. All that aside to say that we just want to be treated, we want something to be consistent along the way, and I just don't feel like it is. Like she said, we've got a football field driveway, 2 cars can drive up it. He didn't want to hear, the person that appraised it didn't want to look at anything. He laughed at me when I said, do you mind just looking at my appliances? Because again, I paid everything for it because they told me I had to invest it back into my property, and I did. He laughed at me, which was so inappropriate and unprofessional. And you guys should know that because, I mean, y'all hired this gentleman, so you should know what we're paying for, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I am going to be requesting a request for information from all prior buyouts up until the buyouts that we're in now. I have found someone that's going to help me review all of that information. Because there's just too many things that are changing, too many moving pieces along the way. And like she's saying, we're just scared, y'all. We just want to be able to get the value of our houses where we can just get back into a home without having to go into something that's a quarter the size of the home that we have now. That's all we want. We're not asking for anything anymore, anything less. Like I said, I feel like, I spoke to a lady last Friday, the one she's just referencing. She said, we didn't put a dime into our house after we flooded. I have a 2-bedroom, 2-bath house. She said, if my house would fit your garage. She got $110,000. I got $257,000 for a home that you could eat off the floor. My husband is OCD to the max. I'll tell you, you can't help it. God love him, but he's always working, doing improvements all the time. I know my house is valued more than that. I know so many other homes are also, it's not just about us guys, it's about all of us. It's all of us that are in the same boat. And we're all struggling right now because we can't even move and be able to get into a small home with the amounts that they're giving us. Y'all know the prices are not what they were pre-COVID. There's just no way, absolutely no way. Let me see, we just want them evaluated properly. Like I said, there has been two other people that have looked at the information. They're certified appraisal, people as well, and they said, you gotta be kidding me. That was the first word out of one of the mouths. So I feel like there's something that's just not quite right there. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's going on with this gentleman. I think he tends to be a little bit on the lazy side and just doesn't want to do the work. I know that I have a friend that lives in, Frank Jefferson that flooded, who has comparable, like, to our home. And I was like, well, can you go to one of those and see what those houses are, appraised at? He said, I'll be fine, I can find my own. I said, okay, well, I just didn't know how all it worked, I was just asking a question, but if y'all could just look into our concerns, that would mean the world to us, because like I said, we're worried about everybody in Newton County. We've been here our whole lives, and we don't wanna leave. I don't wanna leave this county, it breaks my heart, my mom's buried here, and I don't wanna leave. But it's making it really hard to stay here and be happy right now. I'm sorry. Thank y'all for your time.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Do we have anybody else? We'll go ahead and thank y'all for your time. And I want to say I apologize for having to have the meeting here at the hotel. FEMA's in the Civic Center. They're pulling out today, so they were dismantling their stuff. We got a jury trial going on in the courtroom, so we didn't want to make too much noise up above them. So I'm not saying y'all.
You're relaxed.
But, so we had to have it in the county building, so hey, here's Crown Hotel. Hopefully this will be the last time, it may not be, but, I'm gonna close the public hearing.
Hey, Judge, before we move on, just so the ladies that are visiting today understand, the rules of the meeting, we can't reply to their comments in the meeting. There's a lot I like to say this morning, but we can't say those things, so, I would just say that, what's been said hasn't fell on deaf ears because we're not being.
All right, we'll close the public hearing and go into the consent agenda. Let's take a minutes from the previous week.
All the ones that are previously submitted to y'all, for table, they just need to be, those need to be approved. And that will include all meetings up until the very last one we had prior to this one.
We have enough chairs for, there's 3 more chairs for all of y'all.
We're about to have to leave because I'm gonna get to work. I have a meeting at 10.
It is old.
Put that there. And that thing on.
Oh, wait a minute, I said,
You said the meetings that we had.
We have June 11th, June 25th, July 9th, and July 23rd. Yes. That's what I have. Not there yet, sorry.
Yeah, we don't have any continuing education certificates, and we, have received, everybody. Oh, it,
Yes, Lewis White for his criminal justice, Melissa Bird.
yeah, we can approve all of them. Yeah. So, we had received the Department of Enforcement and continuing education certificates, where do we have on that?
We have Lewis White with his criminal justice and Miss Melissa Burks.
So, I need a motion to, approve the consent agenda with the meeting minutes and the continuing education certificates. Certification.
I make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner White, second by Commissioner Benson, all in favor? All against? All right. We're deliberating and consider action on the following items. Item number 1 is receive overview of new insurance rates for health, dental, life, and vision coverage from Orlando Espinoza with TAC. Orlando, you're up.
All right, good morning. So I'm Orlando Snows, I'm your employee benefits consultant with TAC. I'm here to just go over your renewal, kind of help you guys understand kind of how we come up with the numbers. And I haven't had a chance to come talk to you guys before, so we had a mid-year review with Ginger and Christy and them, kind of going over some of the information. And I offered to come out and talk to you guys, just kind of give you a better idea of kind of how we come up with these numbers instead of just giving you a number and you guys accepting it or, not. So, the way our renewal works is that we first look at the entire pool as a whole, and figure out how much money do we have to collect from the entire pool, right? So we work with our actuaries and we figure out, how did we end last year? What is medical trend doing? How much do we expect that we have to collect from the entire pool as a whole to cover out all of our claims, right? Once we have that number, that's basically our start point. And so that's where we look at each group individually. Then after that, if you perform better, you get below the pool needed amount. If you perform worse, you get above the pool needed amount. Okay. Our targeted loss ratio, so loss ratio being how much money you pay in to the pool versus how much money we've gotten in claims. Our targeted loss ratio is around 94%. So 94 cents out of every dollar that we collect goes towards paying claims. 6 cents out of every dollar goes towards paying the admin fees, all the different things that it costs to run the pool. So with that being said, this year our pool needed amount was 4.6%. So we needed to increase our total fund by 4.6% from the entire pool as a whole to pay out our claims for this upcoming year. And then when we look at your individual claims, you guys were running a little bit high. I think you guys were about 120% over the last 44 months. So a good amount over where we want you to be. But then again, that's the whole purpose of being in the pool, is that when you do have some bad years where you're running a little high, you don't get hit as hard as you might get hit if you're out on your own. So this year, your medical renewal is coming in at 7%. So you guys are a little under 3% higher than what the average renewal is, because your rates here, claims were running a little high. The other factors that we look at for renewal is if you're not, Harris County, they're massive. We can predict their claims. They're not in full, but if they were, we can predict their claims very easily, right? Because they have enough sample size for us to say we know exactly how much money we're going to spend, or a very, very close estimate. With groups that are a little bit smaller, it's a little bit harder for us to predict claims based off of your previous claims, because you may have one new claimant that really kind of changes the numbers a lot. So when we are looking at that, we can't fully focus on just the claims. We have to look at other factors as well. One of those being your demographic factor. So we look at probability. Demographic being your average age of member on the policy. I do not say this, but statistics say the older you get, the more claims you tend to have. Right? Things start to break. Exactly. You need more maintenance as you get older. Let's just say that. So obviously, we look at that, and then the other one is the area factor. So looking at everything being equal, how much does it cost for a claim here versus our average? Both of those numbers, when we looked at those numbers, those were also higher. So you guys are about 10% higher on the age than our average pool group, and then it cost us about 5% more for where your employees are going than it costs us on average. So all those factors in the higher claims, the higher age, and the higher area costs. That being said, and figure out what can we do in the future to help bring these costs down so that I can help you guys get better renewal rates, better benefits. That's my job. So that's why I wanted to present you guys the information so that I can answer any questions you guys have, and then we can start working on what can we do. And we already started planning with Christy and Ginger on things that we can do, things that we can bring to the county, that we can help educate employees on, so they can be better users of your benefits, so that we can see a reduction in those costs. So is there any, I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have.
I don't have any, do y'all have any questions?
I have a lot of questions, but I think we're going about the right approach. You're visiting with our HR group, you guys are working together, so I think at a later date, once you do all that work, maybe our HR group can come back to the court and we can talk in a workshop or something like that. And I just, the numbers, just what we pay per employee as compared to our neighboring county, Jasper, those are the numbers that I would like to see and understand. I mean, what you said is very clear. I mean, and it's important to record. Still a lot of details I'm curious about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm happy to come out for a workshop, and so we can, dig down even deeper into like your questions, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, ultimately what it comes down to for us is we just, we want your buy-in. We want the court and elected officials to buy in on the things that we're going to be putting into place, the things that we're trying to do to improve the situation for you and for your employees. We're talking about education opportunities, coming out, doing more presentations, more opportunities for employees to learn more about how to be better at, how to get healthier and that kind of stuff. And so it starts at the top. You guys can buy in on when we come out, encouraging people to show up to these meetings and listen to what we have to say, because that's ultimately where a lot of, counties fail, is that buy-in from the top. If there's no buy-in, employees don't show up because they don't feel that they're supported. They don't feel that they can take 30 minutes to an hour to go, listen to a presentation about their health. And so getting you guys to buy in and other elected officials to also understand that we're coming to help. We're coming to help, and we're trying to help not only your budget and your dollars, but, everyone in this room. We want to help them live a better life. And so that's my ask of you guys, is that, when we do start setting these things up, that you guys do allow your employees to go and encourage your employees to go and listen to what we have to say. And hopefully we can, help a couple people along the way and really, make a difference on your benefits. And then just another, so your dental didn't change. There's no change on your as well. And then life stayed the same as well. So really the only thing that changed was your medical. Other than that, everything is there's no increase on the other stuff.
What was the percentage increase on that?
7%. Yeah, and I got business cards for you guys. So if you guys have any questions, you guys feel free to reach out to me. Thank you guys so much.
All right. Moving along to item number 2. Approve new insurance rates for health, dental, life, and vision coverage from 12/1/2024 to 11/30/2025. This is Ginger.
Okay, as Orlando was talking about, that this is gonna be, there is going up, I know y'all seen the numbers, it's $71.74 per person, the rate's going up this year. The county, we are paying $1,025.04, it's gonna go up to $1,096.78. And I know y'all have discussed, on the back page of this packet I got y'all, there's alternate coverage, that we could do different coverages. The only thing with those, and I'm not saying we don't need to, I mean, I don't like too much change, but this wouldn't benefit our employees too much. Christie has it figured on one of these alternates that, just say if we went to option 3, the deductible's gonna go up, and then they figuring it's like employee plus family, they're not gonna save, what did we say, Christie, $40? You're gonna employee and family, you're gonna save $63.25 in premiums a month. But your deductible is going to go from $1,200 to $2,000, so anything that you have to have done is gonna go up to $800 for the deductible. So the savings compared to the expenditure is pretty significant if you have to have anything done. So, and whereas our deductible right now is $1,200. Like Orlando was saying, nothing else changed, just this. And we used to get, when we had dependent coverage, we used to just do it once a month, but we know that that's a lot taken out of the employee's check, so we divide it up twice a month, so they can have it, you know, be a little bit easier on them. And I know it's high, and I know we try to get it easier for the for the dependents, but it's versus the dependent coverage and the deductible versus how much money you have. My opinion, and I do go through a lot of medical stuff, $1,200 is, it's hard to come up with for me, and how much less $2,000, and if it's out of pocket, it's more than that, if you did an alternate plan. And Bubba addressing your, or Mr. Powell. Addressing, about compared to Jasper County. Correct me if I'm wrong. Jasper County, they do have some of their employees that are grandfathered. But come this next time, the renewal, they're gonna go on a regular plan, just like we are.
Yeah, so Jasper went from a $750 deductible that all employees were on, but half were on grandfather status and the other half were non-grandfathered. Now they're moving everyone to one plan and it's a $2,000 deductible.
Do you do Sabine County?
Yes.
So that's, to me, Newton and Sabine is more
Yes.
than Jack.
Yeah, I can look real quick.
I like those ones, but I do that.
So why did, not this any of our business, but why did Jasper choose to do that?
So Jasper, there's a lot of reasons why Jasper chose to make that decision. Part of it is because they had a split on those two populations. They also had different contribution amounts, which is why they had that split. So they were contributing a lot of money towards the dependent coverage on the grandfather group and then nothing on the non-grandfather group. So they wanted to try to figure out a way to try to even the scale a little bit. So they made a decision that, ultimately they made a decision to save the county money. And that's why they increased their deductible. I think the biggest thing, this is why I'm here for you guys, is because it's great to have great benefits, you know, which, I mean, even at $1,200, I know it's hard to come up with, but I mean, that's still very good. You know, the national average for deductible is $5,000.
Well, you won't get that out in the real world. You won't get this plan here. in the
Oh,
real world.
no, absolutely. You're correct. That's what I'm saying. So your $1,200 is still fantastic. Problem is that if we don't do our job to educate employees and on how to best utilize it, it's going to become not affordable. and then it's not, the county's gonna have to make those decisions to increase deductibles, and then your $1,200 deductible is great, is gonna turn into a $2,000 deductible, a $3,000 deductible, and then, yes, it's affordable, but how many people can afford a $3,000 out of pocket per year expense if something's going on? So I think that's where it's imperative for us to figure out how to keep you guys where you're at. Talk to employees, try to do the best that we can to educate them so that our costs stay low, so that way we can continue to be able to afford the plan that you have in place now.
So the numbers that, unless I'm looking at numbers wrong, from employee and spouse, the increase is gonna be $1,272 a year.
That's not,
The employee and their spouse.
that's not an alternative.
I think that's 203. So it was 1,096, new amount's 1,203. So that's an increase of $106.60 a month times 12, that comes up to 1,272. Does that sound right?
Your employee spouse rate went from 2149 to 2300. So it went up about 100 and something.
Right, this is what the employees pay now.
No, that's what y'all pay. That's what the county.
That's what the pension. So what was it, what was it?
This is what, of this amount right here, the county pays
Okay.
that, and then the employee pays that,
What was
and
we
that's
paying
divided,
for? What was the employee paying for?
whatever this would be. This
So
is,
that's not broke out. And then,
no, I didn't know. This is our current rate.
So the county
I didn't break that.
so let me, help me understand. So right now, the county is
This
paying,
is our current rate.
right
That's what we're paying,
now.
and it's not broken, and it's not, that's not what we're paying. To go over here, it'll be this minus this of what the county pays.
So what is the increase for the employee? I mean, if we're looking at,
I broke it down here. The employee plus spouse. That right there, it would be this, but I don't have the increase.
So currently it's 1124 is what the employee pays for spouse. So it's gone from 1124 to 1203
per year,
per month.
per month. So it's increasing,
About less than $100 per month is what.
so it's increasing 1,200 a year. Right,
Yeah,
so,
okay.
so basically, the increase is our current deductible. So we're talking about trying to hold the deductible at $1,200, but when we start looking at this, what I'm saying is, the increase in our insurance rate by holding the deductible at $1,200, we're meeting the deductible that we're never go with this increase. Right?
You're just talking about out of costs.
Yeah. So the out-of-pocket cost for the increase is as much as the deductible. How much percentage do you see in this cost if you double the deductible?
So going from like 1,200 to like 2,500,
Right.
probably not as much as you want. It's, so the biggest thing is, and the reason why that change in price is not as much as you would think is because the drivers of the actual costs are your high cost plans. So it's, and this is not just here, it is across the board. For the entire pool, I would say 10% of our population accounts for 90% of our costs. It's the small, it's the little bit, the small percentage of people that have the large claims. So when you are factoring in another $1,000 out of pocket per person, well, if it's a $500,000 claim, $1,000 more than that person pays doesn't affect our bottom line a whole lot. So that's why there's not that much of a credit going from a $1,200 to $2,500. It might save you 3%, maybe.
So in listening to you, we really don't get a lot of advantage for being in a big network. Because you still gauge us, or you look at us independently based on our claims.
So what I would say is that you do benefit because if you were out in the open market with your numbers, you'd be looking at a 25 to 30% increase easily. So the benefit is you're getting a 7% increase versus 30%, which is what Blue Cross Blue Shield, Humana, and UHC would give you with your current numbers. And given the rates that we're at, and this is kind of the big thing that we hear a lot, right? Is that our rates are too high, and we get it. I mean, we're on our end, we're trying to figure out ways to reduce costs. We're trying to find ways to figure this out because we know it's a problem. We know that event cost is expensive, and we know this population better than any other company that's out there that's going to offer you benefits because we're your association. And so we're trying to figure it out. But at the end of the day, we collected, I think it was $200,000 less than what we paid out in claims, even with the rates where they're at. And I think that's the main problem is that the claims are what the claims are. And our job, what we're trying to figure out is how do we collect enough money to pay out the claims. And that's where these rates come from, is trying to figure out where's that break-even point. And there's no profit margins built in there. There's no, it's literally just trying to figure out how can we break even every single year.
So, Junior, let me ask you a question. I don't think this is HIPAA protected because we're not talking about names. How many employees take insurance above and beyond just themselves? How many employees include their wife and children in the contract? What percentage wise? So did you look at that? I mean, when you're talking about, trying to drive your costs, and you've got claims, you've got a group of people, you're looking at demographics, right? And then none of them include their families because the cost is too high. But then you're saying, well, we got to drive the cost up to cover this. But if you included their families and decrease that amount, you get more money, but then from an impact, you would get more money coming in, but you'd probably still have the same catastrophic type events. I mean, was that even?
No, absolutely. I mean, you are dead on. I mean, that is something that we are looking at. That's something that we have. The problem is that the money can't come from us, right? Like we can't just reduce costs to do that because we still have a bottom line of this is how much we have to do. So we have rolled out a pilot, and so this is something that if you guys were interested in, that would do the exact same thing. The question then is, do you guys have a large percentage of employees that have dependents that are not already covering them? And because the whole purpose of this pilot, the pilot is essentially, if you guys, we will match whatever you guys want to contribute. So if you guys say, hey, we're going to contribute up to 15%, if we're willing to contribute the county 15% towards dependent costs, we will reduce your cost by 15% as well. So then it's a 30% reduction on those dependent costs for the employee. So instead of it, employee family being 1872, we would reduce it by 15%, that cost. And then you guys would then also give 15% towards that. But the only way that works is if we have a larger percentage of people that have families that they want to add, but can't afford to add. Because if not, then we're not adding that risk that you're talking about.
Well, that's what you have here. When you got probably 50% of the county's employees that are saying, I can't afford to put family insurance. You're sitting there saying, well, we got to drive all the cost up because we don't have enough people on it. So if there was some way, and I know you're saying you're not going to cover it, but at some point you have to say, okay, well, we're going to take a risk and reduce the premium to bring these others in to where Misty now includes not just herself, but herself and her whole family. You just happen to said it right. So, you get more money coming in, right?
Yeah.
But because of her family's demographics, costs don't go up to you. I mean,
no, you're right. That's something we're looking at. We're trying to figure out with our underwriters, with our actuaries, we're trying to figure out that exact question is if we reduce costs, will we get more participation? And we've heard presentations from companies that are saying, we heard from a broker who's telling us that what they do is that they give a $500 deductible to everyone. Every single one of their clients has a $500 deductible, and their rates are low, so they can bring on everyone, and they collect all the premium. But then, so those are things that we are looking at, it's just not stuff that we've pulled the trigger on just yet, but it is, I mean, we're looking at every option possible. But this pilot would essentially, if you guys were interested, would then do exactly what you're talking about. But there would have to be, it have to be both sides, right? We're willing to come down, but you guys would have to be willing to contribute a little bit as well. So that way there's give on both sides, so that way the employees can benefit.
I'd have to check,
How much
get an exact number on who's,
Yeah.
but I didn't get that in there.
And what would happen if you didn't have the, go with those plans?
So it would be the same plan. It would just essentially say, that, you know, essentially what it would do is, right now you guys are contributing $1,096 at the renewal rate for employee, that's the employee only cost. That's how much the county's contributing. What this pilot would do is then it would say, well, the county's now going to give an additional 15% towards the dependent tiers. And then TAC, what we're gonna do is we're going to reduce those dependent tiers by 15%. So then the employee then would see a 30% reduction in their costs.
But what if they don't, what if the employees in the end don't participate in that and don't bring their families in after we've done all this?
So we really don't have any like consequence if things don't turn out the way that we think they will. But I think that's why we try to do the work on the front end to see if there is that, if there are those people in the county that would love to cover their families and would cover their families if they just can't afford it. If you have an older population and they don't really have children that are of covered age, and so you may add one or two, then is it worth doing that? Or is it more so, oh, hey, we have maybe 20 employees that have families that don't cover them, and if we did this, they would be able to afford it. And then I guess the next question is, what is affordable, right? Because we can say, oh, we can get you down to $1,500 a month for family coverage, but is that affordable? Can they pay $1,500 a month for their family coverage? Because then, if that's the case, then we did all this work, we did this, and they still can't afford it. I think that's the, and the county wouldn't technically get out more money because people wouldn't actually be taking it, right? So I think that's the,
So how much did the cost go up per the employee? How much did it go up per the county?
I've got per the county figured, I didn't break that down, how much it went up for the employee. But I do for the county. The county, what the county pays, that went up $71.74 from 1,025 and 4 cents to $1,096.78. That goes, that's $71.74 difference per employee.
So for the spouse, it went up $151
Yes,
for the employee and the spouse.
97.04, and the next one is 128.38.
So it went up, so when you break that out, how much, when it goes up, let's just say $150 a month for the employee and the spouse, how much of that is the county covered and how much is the employee covered? Because this is gonna be relevant, we're doing budgets and we're talking about pay, and when we increase our employees'
The county is
costs,
just paying this.
I got that, I see all of that, and none of it's broken out for us to look at. In other words, I see the increase, but we don't, on my sheet of paper, I don't see an increase for the employee. So when we start getting the budget talks, we're gonna need to know how much did someone's insurance go up? Because if our insurance and our cost of living is going up and we're just keeping everybody at the same rate of pay, we're reducing their pay.
I mean, I can get that for you, but all they were doing right now was renew the insurance.
Right.
And that, but I didn't go into all that detail.
Well, I
But
mean,
if you wanna come see me, I'll break it down for you or get the numbers.
well, I
for you.
think when we get into budget workshops, this is something that should come before the court in front of everybody is, I'm just asking if you would come to us and say, hey, when you guys get ready to start talking about salaries in 2025, you need to understand Jane's covered, you know.
So are we gonna have budget workshops?
Budget workshops.
You know, kind of.
And I've talked to
numbers.
Sherry.
I already put in the salary rate sheet that I use to clear everybody's salary
salaries, I put the 13,161.36 in there for 2025 coverage per year per employee. But now, the ones that have families on it, I don't have a clue who has families coverage and who's gonna have to pay extra on that. I have no clue on that. That would be a HR. No, I didn't get Christie on that.
Yeah, and that's what we're gonna do.
I don't have that. I just have this our employees who has insurance.
Mr. Orlando, you said 15%, if we pay 15, we'll take 15, right?
Yes.
So that'd be, we pay about 200 this fall, then you gonna take 200 off, right? So this figure of 1,200 would be 800. I'm talking about me, and my wife.
Okay, number,
It's here.
30% would be around 903.
So I would still be paying $900. Would you taking yours, county paying the 15?
And with that, employee and family, at 30% would be around 13, a little over $1,300 a month.
And I can break it down like this for y'all. I'll make y'all copies.
And I guess where I'm at is, maybe I'm getting more into the budget than what you're trying to do today, because
Yes,
I think what you're trying to do is get us to approve the insurance.
that's all I'm trying to do.
And I know we need to do that, but I think it's just the whole group, everybody in the county needs to understand that at some point, we're gonna have to consider the demographics, because the demographics is what's charging that to go up.
Let me tell you what we're gonna do. Like Orlando was saying, I think if we go ahead and approve this for this coming year, then throughout the year, have Orlando and them come, and if we wanted to change, doing the 15% or whatever, then the employees need to be there so we can discuss that, and it can be discussed at budget workshops.
Well, you gotta do a lot of homework. You gotta
Yes.
figure out how many other people that would get on with kids, with children.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, are you on, Misty? Are we with your, on the county insurance with your 3 children?
We have several though that have this.
I'm just saying,
yes,
I'm
yeah.
just using her, she said, I know she got 3 children. So she would be one that we would want to pull, we would want to pull her onto our pool.
Unless her husband wants better, I'm
That's,
sure.
and she's not gonna do it, I mean,
That's about the one way it is.
But I mean, you gotta do a lot of homework. So, when that guy comes back, you can just provide him with that information.
So when you look at the county's workforce, what we talked about doing is increasing the attractiveness of the jobs. You want people competing for these jobs because the pay is decent and the benefits are decent. Right now, they're not. The people that want these jobs typically have worked somewhere else and made it to this point, not all of them, and they're looking, well, I'm gonna work for the county because I don't need the insurance, I'm paying mine, what have you. What I want us to do as a court is to get these jobs throughout the county to where they pay an attractive, and I know it's a challenge, but get them to where they pay an attractive salary and they've got a good benefits package, so that when we get ready to hire, we've got a list of candidates. Or we get ready to have an election, we've got a list of candidates. And it's not based on what they've done, it's based on, that's a good job. So insurance, key part of it. You can't say, well, we're gonna get this much of a raise next year, and it be completely consumed by
This is what we need to discuss it, but.
Right. Right, but before we okay it today, I mean, yeah, I understand. So right now, today, the insurance is gonna go up. How much for the county in a year? What's the increase for the county?
It's like 96,000.
Yeah. 100,000. $100 grand. It's only
Yeah,
$12.
like 96,000, I thought it was 96,000.
I will say 100,000.
Every time it goes up. $100 grand.
And one more thing I just wanted to throw out there that we can consider, probably not this year, but as we're having conversations. The one thing that I did in Hardin County, so to your point of trying to incentivize people on the plan, in Hardin County, what we did was we added multiple the high deductible plans that cost them less because they're relatively healthier, kids are healthy, so they don't need the best benefits, they need something, right? They need something that they know, hey, if my kid gets sick, I can take them to the doctor, I can pay a copay, and I'm good. They're not paying a $4,000 deductible, they're paying a $40 copay, really. And so what happened then was when we put in those extra plans, which Hardin County, of course, is a much larger, more employees than you guys, but they added 133 new dependents from one year to the next by adding those additional options that had a higher deductible that were more affordable for their employees. Because the county kept the contribution at the same level, and then the employee could then apply those extra funds towards their family coverage and then get better, be able to actually cover their family. So there's a lot of different options that we have available that, let's say we started, talking about this as soon as this renewal comes out, we can do a workshop next year and we can start talking about different ideas. And in the lead up to that, we can look at options that are available to you guys.
So what you just said is that's exactly what we need in Newton County. So for, I'll just take myself, I'm paying $1,200 a month, times 12, for insurance that I don't intend on ever using without a catastrophic type event. So a $5,000 deductible is half of what I pay a year in insurance. I mean, I hope everybody sees that. And it's fine for people that just, well, I'm the only one on the insurance. But we need a policy that protects those that are singular and have a lot of, and then those that are, like you just said, don't have any anticipation of needing that. So when we get our renewal, we want that.
We'll definitely look at it. And we can do workshops, I would say probably early next year, where we just start looking at what's going on, what can we do. We did the mid-year review with Ginger's office, we can bring the board in, and we can, I can bring in those claims information. What we did was, in that mid-year review, we reviewed the claims, looked at what's driving the cost, and then we worked on, here's a strategy that we're saying we can implement with you guys that'll help reduce those costs. Because ultimately, it all comes down to your costs, your claims costs. If we can reduce those, the sky's the limit on what we can do with plan design and affordability, all that stuff. But we have to address the claims first. Once we address that and we can get that in control, then we can start doing a lot of other stuff that is really going to be beneficial and making things more affordable for employees.
So is age doing that? Is it age driving that cost? Or is it the dependence of the employees?
I would have to look at the claims, but,
Your guess?
I would say your age does not help. Being 10% older, probability says that you're gonna tend to have more claims, right? Every time I say that, I feel like my mind's on me every time I say that.
Well, just like some of the diabetes, I mean, that cost won't be there.
Yes. And that's where, diabetes, high blood pressure and stuff, we have programs in place that people can utilize to help manage those conditions so that those don't become large claims and they're smaller claims, but they're being managed, right? And I think that's where the strategy for us was, let's come in and let's educate the kids. Let's let them know all of these different things that are available to them, so that way that $100,000 claimant can become a $5,000 claimant.
So the only thing I'm asking, and I'm gonna shut up, I promise, is I want a strategy to benefit our employees,
Absolutely.
not tax insurance.
Absolutely.
I know I know you gotta make money to be able to cover us. I get it. But I want in 2025, when we sit down at the table, I want Bill to be able to come in and say, I've got 3 kids, I want this policy, I'll pay $5,000, because if they go to the doctor, I'm gonna pay it out of pocket unless, God forbid, right? That's what we need.
I will tell you right now, very honest, I am all about the employee. Me personally, and I know TAC is as well. We want to help the counties be able to continue offering benefits that are affordable and that are good to employees, because at the end of the day, we understand counties don't pay the most, right? And most people come work in the county because of the retirement and benefits. And our job is to help you be able to maintain that. And so I promise you, I will work with you and I will figure out a way that we can put a strategy in place that'll help us attain those goals.
Judge, I'm gonna make a motion with the understanding that we are going to develop a strategy in 2025 to improve our insurance costs, that we approve the insurance costs presented to us by our HR department.
Motion made by Commissioner Fowler,
Second.
second by Commissioner Benson, all in favor? All against?
Yeah, sign this one. I didn't go in and didn't make it. Present it to the staff this week. And then I'll be back. I'll get this broken down in the budget.
No, there's no action. We could present it.
Thank you, and I want to thank Orlando for coming today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And I'd like to thank the HR department for the work you've done. Don't think you take that lightly, we know you worked hard on it.
That's just our job.
Thank you.
We'll move along to item number 3, certify the 2024 appraisal roll to the Newton County Commissioners Court. This was first.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Before I certify, I wanted to, talk about last week and, have a little, let y'all know what's going on. Okay, the certification last week was fine. Anytime you have open protest, your grand totals will never match your ARV total. But your ARV totals are final. They are the ones that are certified and they stand. Now, Margie, said if y'all have any more questions about that, she would be happy to talk with anyone, and she'll be happy to come over here this morning. Having said that, on the 30 protests, the reason they were open is because the taxpayers hadn't returned their paperwork. So when she told me, we talk. When she said, Melissa, everything's been settled. It had, but they cannot by law close it until the paperwork is returned. But I want to thank Tracy for reading it last week. I understand she did a fantastic job, and it was correct. But now I'm going to certify. I've talked with the comptroller's office. I've talked with 2 legal gurus. Margie and I have discussed it. I'm going to certify through appraisal group 3. And you're going to see balanced numbers. If you look at your tabs, that's going to be your ARV totals, and behind it, you'll see your grand totals, and they will match.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
So last week, the appraisal value was $564,111 lower than it is this week.
3 supplements were done.
Can we expect any more supplements after today?
Every day there are supplements, every day, all year long. I get a minimum of 2. The most I've ever received was 8 supplements in 1 week. That's why when and I'm going to something else, that's why you use the adjusted certified roll when you figure the tax roll, because you're comparing year to year. Oh yeah, there's going to be a lot. There's I know there's gonna be some in our favor, but everyday people are applying for homesteads. People, are applying for over 65, ag, timber. They can apply late. So our role changes, the appraisal role changes every week. Every week. Now, I have really thought about this, and my solution to this, I'm thinking it might be helpful to you guys, and y'all can take it, y'all can tell me. If y'all would like an updated monthly, what our role is, what has changed. Now, it's not gonna be these spreadsheets, but it will be adjusted numbers
And that's,
and adjusted tax levy.
so you say it changes, we're talking about the total appraised values changed,
Okay.
because I'm just curious.
Yeah, okay, if they add, okay, it's going to be your total taxable value, because you're gonna have exemptions.
I can see that change.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
can see that change, I just.
But yeah,
$1
and,
million in
okay, but
appraised value.
you add to the roll. They're fixing to, I do know that I'm going to get a supplement, and it's going to be an addition to the roll. Anything that was omitted, we live in a very dense county where it's easy to miss something. There was a man that had $1 million house. I'll never forget it. It seemed like it was around 2007. Margie, it may have been Tick that let her borrow two full quitters. But Margie and one of her appraisers borrowed, and I believe she told me it was you, Tick. They drove back in there. It was a locked gate. They went behind that gate and they found a house that had been sitting there for probably minimum of 15 years. The law says you can go back 5 years. So that man, was back, it says 5 years. So you're always, yes. So the short answer, yeah, the appraised value can change, and it changes a lot. It can go down, it can go up, all around. All right, now, does anyone have any questions about, before I read the certified roll for supplement group 3? Any questions? Okay. All right. Certification of 2024 appraisal roll for submission to the Newton County Commissioner's Court this 6th. Oops. Didn't change that. I will correct that. Because this is the 13th day of August 2024. I, Melissa Burks, Newton County Tax Assessor Collector, do solemnly affirm that the figures disclosed below are portions of the ARB approved and certified 2024 appraisal roll as of supplement group 3. This appraisal roll was certified to me by Margie Karen, Chief Appraiser of the Newton Central Appraisal District, which lists property taxable by Newton County and constitutes the values of the 2024 appraisal roll for Newton County. I also have this for y'all, and it's highlighted. That's the front page. It's on the second page, and it tells you about current total value. Okay. 2024 appraisal roll information, county. Total appraised value, $3,492,150,909. Our total assessed value, $2,060,463,242. Total taxable value, $1,480,623,793. $706. We have total appraised value, our total appraised value of new property, $10,812,877. The taxable value of our new property, $9,686,670. Okay, on to Lateral Road, and you know, there's a little difference because of that 3,000 mandate, additional mandated exemption. Total appraised value, $3,492,150,909. Total assessed value, $2,136,785,863. Our total taxable value is $1,475,655,935. And you notice there is a little difference in our total taxable value of county and lateral road because of that 3,000 state mandated exemption. Our total appraised value of new property is $10,812,877. Our total taxable value of new property is $9,671,657. I'm going to get one of the girls to take my vehicle and you'll walk just right here. Okay, now, any questions? Any questions? Are there any questions?
Signatures.
We're still looking at those.
Okay, yes, sure, go ahead.
We jumped to the heartbeat of it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Y'all are like a kid in a candy store. Y'all went to the desserts. Well, I believe we have something in between that. I did figure that quite a few different ways for you guys. If there's another way you would like it figured, not a problem. I'm a numbers nerd. I love this stuff. Tell me what you want it figured at, and I'll go for it. I will tell y'all the foregone revenue rate. 2021, it will be on next year. You look at what 21 is. We'll get to there. We'll get to that. We can't use quite that. Just about.
So the de minimis rate, it's not as much of a value this year as it was last year.
It's 500,000 is all.
But last year, back when we paid interest, it was cured, and we're not going to do that this year.
Interest that was secured.
Yeah. So you built up,
That wasn't on the
Minimum rate.
minimum.
what was that? That was on the.
Unused increment rate.
Unused.
That unused increment rate.
Minimum rate raises $500,000.
So what do we got?
I have the unused increment rate raises your voter approval. Here we are, right here.
What is the unused?
.0866016. And it's to help counties. I did figure the de minimis, so y'all can see what it would do for you. Are you missing something, baby?
I think
certifying the, appraisal roll. I mean, certifying the anticipated collection rates next, but they need to make a motion.
Make sure.
There is something, there is a line, I do have an agenda item before that. So are y'all going to make a motion to accept the appraisal roll?
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Powell to accept the appraisal roll. Second by Commissioner White, all in favor? All against?
Thank y'all. Okay.
All right.
Now I move on forward. Let's see. Would y'all like me to certify the anticipated collection rate?
Okay, that's you.
Help.
All right, I will read item number 4. Certify the anticipated collection rate for the tax year of 2024. And that's Ms. Melissa again.
Okay. I took more time on this than I've ever taken in 21 years. Certification of anticipated collection rate for 2024. I, Melissa Burke, tax assessor collector for Newton County, do hereby certify the Newton County Commissioner's Court an anticipated collection rate of 99% for tax year 2024. Dated this 13th day of August 2024. Having said that, if everything comes in that's promised, we'll end up over 100%. But I deal in numbers and reality, and that's where it's sitting, is at 99%. That is current delinquent penalties, interest, overages. Any questions?
So all of this is calculated on.
No. Once I calculate that on 100%, once the auditor gives it sheet, y'all decide what percentage you're going, if it's going to be 96, 95, whatever, on the budget. I'm just saying,
She's
this is
certifying that 99% collection rate.
anticipated.
So we picked the number in case it's
Y'all-
a shortfall, so we'd say, hey, we're going
Yeah.
to run the budget at 9%.
It's my duty,
Oh,
it's my duty as y'all's collector to let y'all know where we're at. Do I think it's gonna be 100? Yes, but I'm dealing in factual.
All right, I need a motion I'll make a motion to certify the anticipated collection rate for the tax year of 2024 at 99%.
That's that.
All right, motion made by me, second by Commissioner Vincent, all in favor? All against? All right. Okay. Okay.
Okay. Rate calculation for tax year 2024. Did you say it didn't look good? Okay. I can, like I say, I can figure, if you say, I need 800,000, you need 800,000 more, Melissa, then I can figure that. Okay. rate calculations for tax year 2024. Our county, no new revenue M&O rate, 0.430898. No new revenue rate, 0.428141. Our de minimis rate, 0.430898. Voter approval rate, 0.445979. And this is just each entity's portion of these rates. Special road and bridge, 0.172129 is the no new revenue M&O rate. The no new revenue rate is 0.171033. The minimus rate, 0.172129. Voter approval, 0.178153. Our M&O total general fund, no new revenue M&O rate, 0.603027. No new revenue rate, 0.599174. De minimis, 0.603027. Our voter approval rate, 0.624132. Lateral road, 0.04130. No new revenue, M&O. Right. No new revenue rate, 0.063706. De minimis rate, 0.064130. A voter approval rate, 0.066374. Our de minimis rate, that's the rate that will raise an additional $500,000, which is the no new revenue M&O rate. You have debt and the rate to raise $500,000. 0.033769. Unused increment rate from tax year 21-22 is 0.085975 per 100. I'm reading it over here on this. For the year, for this year, the calculation is 0.086016. Okay, total 2024 tax rates. No new revenue M&O rate, 0.667157. No new revenue rate, 0.662880. De minimis rate, 0.700926. Voter approval rate, 0.776522. Okay, you see your 2024 preliminary tax rate computation. You know, the general fund's 8515, and you know that lateral road is 87.5 and 12.5. Y'all know that, right? 87.5 and 12.5. Okay. I know that doing it once a year, it's easy to forget if you're not entrenched in it like this. Okay. Now, voter approval rate was calculated using the 0.688262, not the 0.709. Excuse me, the 0.776. 522. Because y'all have to, the court has to direct me what portion of that. I will say the tax rate worksheets were changed. There's been 11 revisions. I have keyed in numbers 4 times. it was, and it did end up being in the county's favor. Now, my question for you guys, would you like me to read line by line on these tax calculation worksheets, or would y'all like to do it in a workshop? Or would y'all like to come by and see me, anyone? I'm always
I think I need work.
available. Okay,
I like,
yeah.
I like a workshop.
Normally?
All there together that we all understand it. I do have a question for you.
Okay.
Fear of
Sure.
sounding ignorant here. The road and bridge general, the no new revenue is 1.39. And that is gonna be where we get our payroll from, correct? We're gonna go forward.
Yes, sir.
So that's significantly lower than last year.
But we also use some of the unused income. It was a whole different ballgame last year, and I remember our project was a 1-year thing.
So that is,
It was a 1-year thing.
our budgets we put together, the budget that I put together, I anticipated giving the same thing for payroll, 25 and that 24. It looks like it's gonna be 20-something, 24,000 less.
Well, whether you do know that you get motor vehicle registration, you get more.
All
tax.
that, I
You
mean,
get
this is
other-
not it.
Yeah, last
Well,
year,
will that
current
go in-
taxes last year was 1.3 million for the
Say
road
again?
bridge. 1.3
It's
million.
going in road bridge.
Plus you get motor vehicle registration, which was the 350,000. There's other revenue.
Oh,
Okay, so it may come up above.
Oh,
Okay.
Hey, Melissa, I do have a question.
Okay.
We talked about it last
Uh-huh.
year, when it came up. The instant payment is supposed to come up off the top before divided in. Did you?
No, the county has to certify that to me. Nothing has ever been certified to me, and I've always,
Because you and I talked about it last year, and I don't know.
I don't recall,
I didn't know if it
I don't recall that.
Yeah.
But, okay, so the county has.
Only a certain percentage of the county's budget goes to the.
Oh, that has nothing to do with this. That has nothing to do with
Well,
calculation.
I don't think it's in the taxes or the.
If you have a hospital district and you fund it, it does. But we're not funding it. We're not funding it. No, ma'am.
So, a question, not getting the weeds, but I think this is.
Okay.
So when we talk about motor vehicle registration, coming to commissioners.
Every renewal, you get $10 road bridge general.
Okay.
Every renewal.
So it's gonna go to road and bridge general automatically, or go to line around the
Right, we can show you reports. I can bring reports.
No,
To
I wanna make sure it hits that payroll account.
But also that payroll account, that's where we buy our equipment. True?
That's an auditor question.
Well, you did last year because we had money there and you could buy.
I'm talking about my 40,000,
Yes, you
it's
could
coming
buy.
out of this,
Yes, that's where you
Payroll.
started your money, yes.
coming out of my payroll.
Coming out of your payroll, not the total.
No, my payroll, not your, you buy something, it's gonna come out of your payroll, but you pay your employees.
18,000 of it, which is what I got coming out of it.
But keep in mind, you are going to get, you're going to get at least conservatively 325,000 each, just off of one portion of motor.
Each? You're saying we're gonna get 325,000 each?
No, I mean, 320, yeah. Let me get the numbers,
No, that ain't, I mean.
No, divided,
Divided by 4.
yeah,
Okay.
I got that.
Now, but we also cut, I do 96% of that.
Yeah,
I mean, the court will
Yeah.
have to decide, but that's not
right,
where we go.
right.
90% of the one. Budget, the whole
I'm
amount.
surprised it wasn't. It's, well, I'm talking that overall, because last year it was over $1 million.
So moving that from county to county really hadn't hurt. So moving that where people can buy them anywhere in any county has.
No, because, the tax assessor collectors as a whole don't have the staff to, accommodate other counties. And we have, we came together, Tax Assessor Collectors Association, and all but I would say 5 in the state of Texas are not willing counties. I tried the willing county. The second week, here came a FedEx from a Houston dealership, or a Houston tax service, excuse me, a tax service for dealerships. We had 500 renewals. I immediately called the supervisor. She said, well, get ready, girl, because you hadn't seen, that is just the start of it.
So does,
She said, I knocked it off. I said, no, we're not gonna do that because I'm not gonna lose employees over seasoned employees.
so does Jasper Renewal?
No, they used to, but they don't now. Well, then, okay,
So does Orange?
then someone told me an untruth. Kirbyville doesn't, Kirbyville does not, Buhner does not, and the main office in Jasper has told me they do not. Are you, the tax assessor going to talk to that?
No, somebody went over there.
Oh, okay. Now, if they have a Jasper address. See, we have people from Jasper County that have a Newton County address. If you have an address,
The only reason I ask that is because it's come up quite a bit about the Lakewood office being open next week. You know, and if they do, looking at these numbers, it would be advantageous for us to put somebody down there.
what I want to talk to you about something, I've got some ideas, and we'll discuss it okay, if you take one, you have to take them all. It is, yeah, but, okay, I would need 2 to 3 more employees to cover.
If you was collecting enough money, you could do that.
No, I'm not making an excuse, I'm
The
just,
money goes to the road.
I mean, if you get a dealership from Harris County bringing you 500.
we do not get,
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, but the money goes, the $10 goes.
it goes,
I understand that. I said I won't.
no, it doesn't go to your fund, it goes to the county.
I know.
You're doing it for that county. It does not go to you.
So you don't get the money.
No, you get, we would make $3, $4 off of it.
So it's instead of
$3.52 it was, and it's gone up. No, y'all wouldn't get the $10. When I found that out, I said, hey, I was doing it to try to help the commissioners get these roads in order. We're not gonna get it, forget it. Because, yeah, you pull in that much money, 500,000, y'all would have no problem saying, okay, Melissa, let's get some more. You need, yeah, find you an employee. But it's not, that's not the way it works. You're working for them. You're working for the other county.
So, we voted on number 4, right?
Yeah.
All right, so move on down to number 5. Review and approve the Newton County Historical Commission bylaws revised and adopted on July 20.
Oh, wow. 2 years difference.
Oh, mine's different.
I will get a total.
That's his difference.
Are y'all going to?
Yeah. This was the first All right, let me go to number 5. Submission and discussion of 2024 tax rate and truth in taxation worksheets presented to members of the court. Yes, we just did that one.
We need a motion.
No, there's no vote.
I got the new one now.
It's just a discussion.
All right, need a motion to accept the discussion of the 2024 tax rate and truth in taxation worksheet presented by Melissa Burke.
Okay, so y'all want me to go through that or in a workshop? That's what I had asked, okay. So I will,
We'll take no action, we'll,
Make a motion, we take no action on those items, commission discussion on tax rate. Second.
Second. All right, motion made by Commissioner White, second by Commissioner Benson, all in favor? All against? And what do we need to schedule a workshop to, get on this?
Yes, sir.
All right, item number 6. Review and approve the Newton County Historical Commission bylaws revised and adopted on July 25th, 2024 by Newton County Historical Commission. And that's Ms. Terry Woods and John Jefferson. That's the one we discussed last week.
I make a motion to approve the historical commission bylaws as presented by.
All right, motion made by Commissioner Brown,
Second.
second by Commissioner Benson, all in favor?
Aye.
All against? All right, item number 7. Authorized to advertise requests for bids for all types of road materials, culverts, bridge materials, crack fuel, and hauling for road and bridge.
I'm just asking the court to go out for annual bids so that we can go ahead and get those advertised this week, so we can go on at the August 27th court.
Does anybody use crack fuel? I guess that's off-road, that's off-road. I don't think anybody uses that anymore, right? I think
Go out
recently,
for diesel prices.
okay,
Yeah.
so that's not off-road diesel?
No, it's just diesel prices and also the road materials.
Yeah, I got the road bill, I just wanted.
I make that motion, go out for advertising.
I second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Benson, second by Commissioner White, all in favor?
Aye.
All against? All right.
Check.
All right, we'll move down to item number 8. Approved contract renewal between Newton County and Windstream Communications. This is on,
History Center, the DA's office, and the elevator. We want to keep the same rate, so we have to do it within, 60 days, 14, and then 60 days.
I'll make a motion that we approve the contract between Newton County and Windstream Communications.
Sorry, what was that for?
For the History Center, the elevator, and the DA's new building.
This is Windstream Communications for
And 911.
the.
Okay. I second that.
All right, motion made by me, second by Commissioner Benson, all in favor? All against? All right, move down to item number 9. Approve the extension of declaration of disaster flooding event that occurred on April 10th, 2024, and was amended to include an event that occurred on April 27th, 2024. We're just extending the disaster.
I make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner White,
Second.
second by Commissioner Brown, all in favor?
Aye.
All against? All right. Item number 10, and this is some contract amendments. Mark Drogo and Drogo Associates went through all the contracts the county has and found some deficiencies in them with basically GLO boilerplate contracts. It didn't have some of the correct wording on it. So we're just amending the contract to be in compliance with GLO and other government agencies. So, item number 10 is,
Can we lump them together? Just lump them together? 10 through 18?
Well, it's different contracts, does that matter? Different contract
I mean,
numbers.
we're approving all of it.
Yeah.
so this is, there's,
One at a time.
yeah, just in case.
Are you having it? Yes, but it's the same as it being.
Yes,
Okay,
it's,
I tell you what, I'm gonna read the first one, and then, it's got the number on the contract,
mhm.
and then they're all worded the same, so I'm gonna make, need a motion, once I read them to, extend the contracts numbers, and there's like 9 of them. Okay, item number 10, discuss and consider authorizing the county judge or county judge pro tem to sign amendment number 1 to the contract between Newton County and Trailer Associates, pertaining to the county's community development block grant And, this is, first one's grant contract number 24-065-038-E530. The second contract is 22-130-020-D847. The third contract is 20-082-018-D220. And the fourth contract is 22-082-018-D220. Fifth contract is 18-533-000-D277. Contract number 6 is 18-533-00-B279. Number 7 is 18-535-00-B279.
One of them-
What's happening?
One's which, yeah.
One of them's trailers and the trailer associates and the other one.
Oh, yeah, we're
Yeah.
gonna set,
All the ones for the President's Association and all the ones.
okay,
President's Association.
yeah. All right, now, item number 13, we'll knock item number 13 out of there because this is the building last for the strong. But we got 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, we're reading number 17. It's with Trevor Associates. It's contract number 20-066-015-C108. All right, and that's the one's, contract amendments with Trevor Associates. I need a motion to authorize the county judge or county judge pro tem to sign the amendments to the Trevor Association Community Development Block Grant contract.
Nobody take it.
Motion made by Commissioner Benson,
I'll second.
second by Commissioner White, all in favor? All against? All right, we'll move back to item number 13. Discuss and consider authorizing the county judge or county judge pro tem to sign amendment number 1 to the contract from Newton County and Gilbert Lassiter Strong pertaining to the county's community block grant. Contract number is 22-082-018-D220. All right, we have another contract with Gilbert Lassiter, same wording. Contract is item number 16. It's contract number 18-535-000-B279. And item number 18, Community Development Block Grant, contract number 24-065-038-E530. So I need a motion to approve the contract, county judge or judge pro tem to sign contract amendment between Newton County and Gilbert Lassiter Strong.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Funk. I'll second it. All in favor? All against? All right. I want to make sure we took care of every one of them.
Sorry.
So just for the record, those were all mistakes that were made by the GLO in their contracts.
Commissioner, it's, according to how you look at it, it is not in their contracts. Flip side of it, we did not catch it, but initially it was a GLO mistake. And we got to put some more things in place internally in our office, hopefully we'll catch these types of things. We did go back on an internal audit and caught the mistakes.
And what that would happen is we sometime reimbursement, that would have been out, and not receive the funds back.
In all probability, and hopefully it never will pass, it would have been a hand slap. There again, it was the
template that GLO provided to us and basically said, here's your template, it's got all the information you need in it. You don't have to use it, but the GLO has blessed this for you. Flip side of it, it's one of those bills that, their mistakes doesn't cover the fact that we followed their mistakes. Al, it was your mistake. That's what. All right, we'll move on to item number 19. Approve order calling for election to confirm the creation of Newton County ESD number 6 and authorize the imposition of a tax not to exceed the rate allowed by section 48-E, Article 3, Texas Constitution. And this is the calling for the election for the emergency services district for EMS, Nation Medical Services. The tax rate that we're going to approve is 0% ad valorem. But to create the district, basically we're overlapping other districts, so we cannot, basically we don't never want to collect a property tax on this district. Our basic goal is to go in May of next 2025 and go for a sales tax election to fund this emergency services district.
And we did verify, I'm asking.
Yes.
We did verify that the service is being provided to Louisville, precinct 4 by Acadian.
Yes, Orange County is not, Acadian is not under contract in any way with Orange County.
They don't see
They're
any
just
tax
a
money.
business. They're
Yes,
just conducting business.
yes. Orange County is not paying Acadian tax.
In doing this, will not create a situation where they can't continue to support the
That's
salary.
correct. They can, if they want to continue to do business, they absolutely can.
Thank you for clarifying.
Make that motion.
So are we, wait a minute, so are we going to, is Acadian gonna, are they gonna get some of the sales tax money because they're down in New England?
So to negotiate.
So right
They have
now,
a contract.
Acadian's not getting anything from Orange County to service Louisville. They're not getting anything from Newton County to service Louisville. They're only getting the benefits of what their clients pay when they make a run. And my concern is we would impact that. We get great ambulance service, unlike the north end of the county. We get really good ambulance service, right? Yes. And so we didn't want to impact that. We're not saying we'll do any. This whole thing within Newton County will be totally separate from Acadian, but we're not going to kick Acadian out.
No.
But you are gonna, your sales tax is gonna go into this pool.
It will.
Quite a bit.
Well, all of it.
People going through, passing through, going to the casino.
Just like Acadian's gonna want some of that money.
Well, they can't, I mean,
They don't have a good rate.
They get contracts.
Well, that's right now, they're good negotiating, like you said.
Yeah, the neighbor's gonna get that, the benefit of the sales tax is gonna be whoever's contracted.
but if you contract with somebody other than Acadian on the north end of the county, that doesn't mean Acadian can't
Right.
service south. And now they may get upset and say, well, we want some of that money. And we'll have to cross that bridge, but it sounds like it's worth.
Maybe they'll, maybe they'll put it in the next year. That'd be great for the whole county.
So where's this guy that's supposed to come sell this fish to us? Where's he at? I mean, I'm not heard, I thought we hired a guy to come do this for us. I talked to a person, so that to make sure that we're doing this like it needs to be done, and all the parties will be took care of as needed, and maybe we don't get into trouble with the devil, with Louisville or anything like that.
Well, we hired a law firm.
And I've been in touch with them, yeah, they drafted the order. And I've talked to her about the overlap and but the bottom line is if Acadian is not receiving tax money, then there's no overlap.
Okay.
But I can't say what the business decisions of Acadian is gonna be in the future. I can't.
And have we decided if we don't collect enough of this tax money, where that money's going? I mean, how we're gonna spend it? Have we done all that?
When we create the district, that's going to be set out in the
It's gonna
district.
be for that issue.
So we could spell out emergency medical services, we could spell out what the money is to be used for.
So we changed the wording at the beginning, it said ambulance service. And
Yes.
we changed it from that to emergency services. Because we said, well, we may not have enough money to run an ambulance, but we would still have money to do something, but help fire departments, whatever it may be. Yeah, I mean, when you're a business owner, I mean, this is not attractive, right?
But, everybody, well, except for the businesses. The businesses are not charged the sales tax. But everything online, like most of Dewville has, and I've said this for Orange County address, anything online sales tax charge is going to Orange County because of the zip code. But once the district is created, basically the comptroller's office is a geofence, the county lines out and everything across is paid to be paid.
Pocket and call and all
Yeah,
that.
Devil's Pocket, everything in Devil's Pocket is bought online, supposed to be Jasper County.
That's good having the ESD thing.
Yeah.
We didn't sales tax in the past.
A good one. Big number.
I think Steve Kerr will get over 900,000 years on that.
And this order today is just calling.
Calling for an election.
Yeah, I make that motion. Yeah, we go to call.
All right, do we set the, call for an election and authorize?
It's zero. On the order that you actually signed, there's a space for zero.
Okay,
And Courtney, did you get that?
Okay.
So the order is actually not ready because voting information needs to be included as well. But anyway, in the blank that says for the tax rate, it's just zero.
okay. So we need to make that in our motion to set the tax rate at 0% ad valorem tax.
If that's what it should be. What was said.
Yes, because we're not charging any property tax.
So one of the things that, the government attorney wanted me to make sure y'all understood was because you're not gonna levy ad valorem tax, then this ESD, if it's created in November, then you have to, there'll be another election for the sales tax. And so the ESD will be created for an amount of time with no. Have to wait for it. Lots of ifs, steps between here and there.
Trying to get started.
I make the motion that, we order calling for an election to allow people to decide whether they want ESD 6 and the tax, rate.
And that's it.
All right, motion made by Commissioner White, second by Commissioner Benson. All in favor? All against? All right. Item number 20, approve memorandum of agreement between DECOG and Newton County to provide web EOC services. This is our web, county website. This is our emergency. There's another one coming up with the website. This is for web EOCs for emergencies. So, we'll make a motion that we approve memorandum agreement for DECOG and Newton County to provide web EOC services. Motion made by me, second by Commissioner White. All in favor? All against? All right. Item 21, receive update concerning outside audits. That's Ms. Sherry.
Okay, Mr. Duncan is working on the outside audit, he has requested some information. Morgan's in the process of getting the ARPA information. Grants is basically what he's requested at this point. So that's the biggest update I have is that he is in the middle of audit and he's.
this is our 2022 audit.
2022 audit, yes.
Thank you for that one. And then, do we have any budget amendments? All right, number 22 is budget amendments, we'll skip that. Number 23 is payment of bills, and that's Sherry.
Okay, the general fund is gonna be $625 more than what you guys have in the report due to a invoice that we got at the last minute. And that, with that being said, I want to try to stress this again. As the bills come in, we would appreciate it that if you would send them as soon as you get them, not wait till the cutoff day, because Becky has like one day to get all the invoices printed, put in, checked, everything. So if you'll just, if you get the bill in, send it that day. Don't wait till it's cut off. Because when that happens, you have a lot of, and this one basically got stuck on somebody's desk, and it didn't have a W-9, so we had to, the last minute rush, get it in there. It's for some pressure washing up in precinct 4.
Yeah, I'll tell you,
Yeah, I need this money.
so on that one, Judge, that was a miscommunication on my part. From the W-9 all the way through, wasn't on the judge's office or my assistant, I just, I'm on that. Thank you for pushing it through. That service provider needed to be paid, and thank you for doing that. And it wasn't on your system or mine, it was on my desk. So,
But it would really help if you guys just can get your bills in as soon as you get them, and not wait till just the cutoff day. Cutoff day is just that we're not taking your bills past that day. It's not to wait till all that day and send all your bills in. That's just your cutoff day.
when my wife repeats herself, I hold my finger up like that.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Like your daddy.
That's why I learned it.
Yeah.
I seen him with that revival.
All right, general fund, $287,047.04. Road and Bridge General, $1,944.67. Road and Bridge Precinct 4, $187.21. Commissioner Special Precinct 1, $17,726.72. Commissioner Richmond Precinct 2, $15,872.90. Commissioner Special Precinct 3, $27,124.02. Commissioner Special Precinct 4, $9,762.24. Dedicated Road Precinct 3, $4,809.82. Record Preservation, $574.81. Solid Waste Disposal, $7,591.40. Voter Registration, $382.26. Newton County Library, $400.08. District Attorney Contraband, $3,000, and grants, $9,500. Total of all funds, $385,923.17.
You got amended?
Right,
Mine was amended.
I like the last two, I think, much better. It was only 17.
That was the utility.
I'll send you all a new one with this page.
Oh, no, that's fine, I'm good.
Yeah, we need approval, please. Can we get an approval for the bill?
Okay, no, we did not. I make a motion that we approve the payment of bills.
Second.
All in favor? All against? All right. Now I need a motion from the left side of the table.
Motion to adjourn.
All right. Motion made by Commissioner Benson, second by Commissioner White. All in favor?
I know the district judge was in there, so I took it out in case it rained, bothered him.